All right, this is Frank Salinas. Thank you for being here, Groove family. We are excited to be here with you today. I have a special guest coming on right now. He's part of the Groove.cm team. We're going to get started in just a second. We're going to see when we get people to start joining us. In the meantime, if you have Facebook, you want to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to connect your Facebook account so that if you ask a question, make a comment, we can see who's making the comment or asking the question. And with that being said, thank you for being here. I'm Frank Salinas. I'm part of the Groove.cm family, and I work with GrooveKart. So you're here for some GrooveKart training, and we have a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Simon Leung, coming to you live from Malaysia. He's part of the Groove Asia team, and he's actually been with our founders from the beginning. And he's I used to follow Simon, believe it or not, before I knew anything about marketing. And I think I bought one of his products at one point years ago. I would say maybe 2006. Okay, so he knows his stuff, and he's going to share with you a lot of his insights related to search engine optimization, and we're going to bring him on right now. Simon, if you want to, I'm going to add you into the stream. There you go.
I am here. Thank you, Mr. Frank, for the wonderful introduction. What's up, Groove fam? Good to see all of you. Nice to be back here in the Groove stage as well. And of course, let's give a big round of applause to the one, the only Mr. Frank Salinas. I know that he comes on time and time again every single week with some jam-packed, massive value. And of course, we want to appreciate you for that, Mr. Frank. Thanks for all you do. Every time that you're on, by the way, it's about 4 a.m. my time. And whenever I am up or rolling around and I'm like, hey, it's Frank again. And, you keep me up until like 4:35 a.m. So I want to thank you for that as well.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because really, the Groovesters can get value pretty much almost any time of the day, whether it's me, you, John Garcia, David Lemon, Mike, Donna. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I really like our company, is because everyone here wants to see everyone win, who's part of the community, and the value that everyone delivers is really great. So why don't you give a quick little blurb about maybe for those that don't know who Simon is, why they might want to listen to you, maybe quick, 2 or 3 minutes of your background, and then we'll dive into whatever you want to share related to SEO, search engine optimization, related to GrooveKart, and just overall.
Sure, sure. I don't think anybody necessarily needs to know who I am. They need to know who you are, Mr. Frank. But a little bit of my background. I started off, I guess, in the corporate 9 to 5 world a little bit over 20 years ago. Actually, it's been about 20 years now. Feel so old. I worked at a very then little known company called Google. Had the pleasure, the privilege, the opportunity to really help them to jumpstart their marketing team, their advertising team, and to come up with a lot of different strategies that are still effective and still in use today, actually, to train internally the team. I worked there for about 4.5, 5 years. In the middle of that, ran across internet marketing. Of course, bumped into guys like Mike Filsame, Rich Sheffrin, met Donald Fox while I was still working at Google. And so when I attended a seminar, the story goes in San Antonio, I heard Mike Filsame's story. He said that he quit his job, he left his job, and found his own freedom on August 5th, 2004. And that was the day that I had set to leave my job as well at Google. And that happened on August 5th, 2006. This is what we call now, even at Groove, Freedom Day. The rest, as they say, is history. Ever since then, entrepreneurship, internet marketing, online and offline businesses, did a lot of speaking around the world up until about 2+ years ago, of course, when the entire world shut down. And right here within Malaysia, where I am right now, no exception. In fact, at that point in time, in about March of 2020, when we got locked down, we had stayed locked down until just about a few months ago in April of 2022. So for 2 full years, I was stuck right here on this chair, doing Groove stuff, working with Mike, working with people like Frank, doing a lot of really great things on internet marketing. And now we're just kind of getting back into the offline world. And so we're going to be doing some more seminars and doing some more training and teachings around the globe as well. So lots of exciting things that will be happening. And right now, today, of course, very excited to be sharing more with the Groove family right here as well.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds good. And wow, that's a pretty cool journey. How you everything goes back to you, Mike, Donna, even way back then. How you met Donna before you even when you were still with Google. So when it comes to Google, I think the going there to do a search. So you're here. I wanted to bring you on because SEO is not my strong point. I think I studied it a little bit back in the day for a little while, and all I knew about was working on your title tags and things like that. So that's about all I know and that I remember. So when it comes to e-commerce, I've always been the type where I purchase advertising, drive traffic to a campaign, or create campaigns and try to generate sales that way. But there's something to be said about SEO. And tell us, what are some of the values, or what's some of the benefits if someone puts the attention on their product pages, on their stores, to put a couple of key strategies into place. What's the benefit of paying attention to when it comes to search engine optimization, modifications or improvements they can make to their listings?
Sure. I mean, the thing about SEO, Frank, is that it's actually very, very powerful. And it's very powerful in not the way that many people think, especially in e-commerce, because when they think about different product pages, when they think about, the pages that they build on GrooveKart, for example, they think about how they can, get more people to look for t-shirts and mugs and, sweatshirts and whatever products and services that we may provide. But when it comes to e-commerce, it's actually a lot different because we need to think in terms of the mindsets of the customer. We need to see exactly what it is that they're interested in, what are their niches, what are their markets. And so in a very different way than, let's say, the Groove system, where we can find a million and ways to describe that, right? The ultimate all-in-one platform, the ultimate software, the digital marketing CRM, right? So many different ways that we can describe exactly what Groove is, especially the individual products and apps that we have. The thing with your e-commerce products is that it's just that one specific product. If people are into cats, right, and they want a cat mug or a cat sweatshirt or a cat t-shirt, those are the things that you need to be targeting. And so when it comes to SEO and really thinking how we can leverage and maximize all of that, right, is super important, especially when it comes to e-commerce, simply because now we have the opportunity to target someone who really knows what he or she wants. And when that happens, we can be there to provide exactly what it is that they're searching for, and not just a random product that may or may not be related to their search, right? And so when it comes to SEO, especially when we're focusing this on e-commerce and doing all the really cool GrooveKart stuff, I would say we have the advantage out of everyone else, especially because we're marketers. We created the system for marketers by marketers, and as we continue, we're going to make additional improvements to the Groove system, and that of course includes a lot on the GrooveKart SEO aspect. So we're at the right place. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. And one thing, tell me if I'm wrong. SEO, once you implement it and you get better at it, it becomes second nature. And the one thing is people come to your site for free, right? Because they're typing
Yeah.
something in. So it's not like you pay for that. You pay with your time, but you're already working on your stores anyway, right? So the benefit is if you get good at it, you can start generating sales without having to pay any platform other than your Groove account, right? And so
That's
that
right.
that's pretty cool. So when it comes to SEO, what are some things? No matter what page, no matter what system it's on, what are some key things or takeaways people can think about? Maybe something. Explain it to me. Like I'm a regular guy. College dropout. Take it down to eighth grade level. Maybe some SEO things that everyone can keep in mind, no matter if it's a GrooveKart store or Groove pages, that they can implement with everything that they do related to their sites.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we're gonna talk a little bit more about keywords and all those things in just a short while. But one of the biggest differences between what we do and I think what many people also tend to do and tend to teach, what they don't understand really is the power behind the user intent, the user search. I was just on a call with Mike Filsame about 20, 30 minutes ago, and we were talking about the different ways that we can continue to advertise, continue to market, continue to give exposure and promote our variety of products and services, right? We went through different things from TikTok ads to Instagram ads to Facebook ads, which is all the things that people are talking about today, right? LinkedIn ads and Twitter ads. But here's something that's very interesting. Through that conversation, Mike also realized that the most powerful kind of way that we can reach out to an audience is not actually by reaching out to an audience, is actually to have the audience reach out to us, is to make sure that they know what they want, right? Not we think that they know what they want based on their interests, based on their likes, based on their reactions, based on where they dropped the phone and accidentally pressed on some page that now Facebook thinks that they like, right? Because somehow they clicked on it when they accidentally just dropped it, right? Here's the thing. When it comes to searches, there's no accident, right? There's no accidental way for you to find bleak funnels alternative or free bleak funnels alternative. There's no accidental way for you to find the ultimate all-in-one software platform for digital marketers, right? You know what you want. You know what you want to search for. And you go to the search engines, whether it's Google, whether it's Yahoo, whether it's Baidu in this part of the world, quite popular, especially in China. But regardless of the case, people go to the search engines because they know exactly what it is that they're searching for. And so with all of that, by focusing on this business model, by focusing on this kind of marketing, now we're not trying to reach out to people whom we think may or may not be interested in what we're offering. We know that they're looking for us because they specifically searched for it online. And just like what you said, right, when it comes to keywords, when it comes to searches, there is a difference, right, between what we call SEO, which is search engine optimization, and SEM, which stands for search engine marketing. And when it comes to SEM, which is search engine marketing, that kind of goes along the lines of pay-per-click. That's pay-per-click advertising, right? Right now, we're focusing on the free side. We are focusing on the organic traffic. We're focusing on what we can do so that we actually show up organically and naturally in the search engines when people are searching for us. And once again, by using the Groove system, whether you want to use GrooveKarts or Groove Pages or Groove Blog or anything else that Groove has to offer, the most beautiful thing is that it's a platform that's created by marketers for marketers. So we're always going to continue to improve that. We have made some, huge adjustments over the past several weeks, right? Just on GrooveKart alone, but I know the exact same thing for Groove Pages and Groove Block and everything else. We always continue to get better and better. So that's super exciting, and I just can't wait to see how much further the system will go.
Awesome. And one thing also, when you just mentioned something, when people are searching for it, and it's not search engine marketing, we're not paying for the click, and they find something that they typed in on your store, 9 times out of 10, I would say 99 out of 100 times, that conversion rate is always higher because, like you said, it's them looking and finding you versus us, trying to break the pattern and saying, hey, look at me. Why? Because you showed up when they were looking for something, and now that conversion rate is always going to be better, and they're going to be more prone to buy more stuff because you were in front of them when they typed in what they were looking for. And it's one of those things where it's just at the right time, right message, to the right market, and then boom. So to me, it's something I admit I haven't ever really spent that much time on. However, some of the things I'm going to learn here today, it's one of those things, if you do it enough, it just becomes second nature. So, man, this is pretty cool stuff. So
Awesome.
What are some of the other, you said, so I can guarantee some of the people watching, there's search engine optimization, search engine marketing. What are some other things that people need to know, like if they hear it, they see it, relates to search engines or being found at the right moment, things like that? So maybe some keywords or terms or things that people should look out for.
Yeah, the most important things I believe would definitely be the strategies themselves. A lot of times, and I'll show you some examples in just a moment. People are, trying to target a certain website, right? And they're thinking, oh, so if I get the right keyword and I put them in the right places on my websites, on my landing pages, then it would be awesome to actually have Google or Yahoo and other search engines pick up on my website, my domain name, and find them in the actual search engines. Yes, that's a great way to think about it. However, one of the more beautiful things that we apply right here at Groove is something that we call Groove SEO, right? Groove SEO is the concept of understanding that even though people are looking for you, they don't necessarily have to come to your website first in order to find you, right? That's why we use Groove Blog to create blogs. That's why we also use Groove Video to do video marketing. And when we do that, you'll notice now, especially inside of the Groove Video platform, you're also able to link directly to your YouTube videos, right? And so with YouTube video, with Facebook, with Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and any other kinds of social media, a beautiful strategy that we use is to make sure that we globally dominate. We do as much as we can so that when people are searching for what we're looking for, right, what they're looking for, and they're trying to find us, if let's say, for example, our website, our domain name does not have that credibility just yet, by leveraging on what we do, right? We build the pages and the stores with Groove. If you combine that with other authority sites out there, even if let's say yourwebsite.com doesn't happen to appear within page one, it might be on page two, it might be on page three, but let's say you do it the right way and you also create YouTube videos on there. Well, the good news is that maybe on the first page, they'll find the YouTube videos, right? And when they click through to the YouTube videos, they'll see in the description or in the video itself a link back to your site. And so it's a repetition, right? It's a level of different kinds of external funnels now that we're building that ultimately leads back to your landing page and your products and services. So just because we're talking about SEO, a big misconception is most people focus only on their stores, or they focus only on their product pages, or they focus only on their blogs that they created, or maybe only on the pages that they built, or the website, the homepage, right? When in fact, they should be thinking outside the box. They should be leveraging on every existing other tool out there and platform that allows them to get multiple sources of revenue, multiple sources of traffic, and ultimately drive traffic right back to your site. That's all part of more advanced search engine optimization, which I'm sure in due time we'll have more opportunity to discuss as well.
And when you do this, you're borrowing also, like you're using the authority that all those other sites have, right? So it kind of like, it's like you might have a brand new site. I just started my GrooveKart store. It has one product. It's all about one product. But now I could, let's say, go make a bunch of demo videos of that product, put them on YouTube, right? And then now YouTube is linking to my store, and then I could share it on Reddit and all this other thing. So that's kind of like making me realize, hey, it's not just about my store. It's all also about what I do outside. That's all pointing back to my store, right?
Yep,
Awesome.
that's right.
Awesome. So what else you got for us? This is your your podium right now. If you want to share a screen, or if you want to just dive more into what you're talking about right now, we're gonna, everyone watching, we're gonna open it up for questions at the end once Simon is ready. So have your questions ready. And when it comes to GrooveKart, I just want to make this quick announcement. We're gonna add a feature where you can add the alt tag to your images on the homepage and product pages and things like that. For some reason, actually, I was reviewing it and I noticed it wasn't there. So we'll have that added in the next week or two. So that'll actually help you as well with your stores. But so Simon, tell us, when it comes to, can you elaborate a little bit more about, like you're saying, let's say if they had a blog or they're using Groove Blog, give us an example of how you would use Groove Blog in conjunction with your GrooveKart store.
Yeah, actually, what I'm going to do is most likely before we jump into any examples and things like that, I do want to share some basics, some fundamentals of what you would need to do prior to actually being able to, uh, you know, get into the advanced SEO aspect, because as what Frank just mentioned, right? The good news is that there's already some very powerful features within GrooveKart. Not the most perfect sometimes, and right now not the most elaborate, but you heard Mr. Frank, right? We actually have some brand new features that is going to be in implementation very, very soon. So the good news is that with everything that we're doing, we are in control. There's going to be a lot of things that if you say you want, that you say you need, that we see as a need for us to improve the system, we're definitely going to go ahead and do that. And so whatever new features we need, we will continue to improve and continue to add along the way. But what we can definitely SEO with is what we have so far, some pretty cool things that you can do. We mentioned earlier, right, that before you can even find out how you can maximize your results, you need to know what those keywords are. Everything is user intent. Everything is trying to understand exactly what people are searching for, so that, again, we're not reaching out to them. When they say, I want to buy a cat sweatshirt, right? Then boom, right there in front of the search engines, we happen to have a product and services right there on the first page. So with that understanding, the first and foremost thing that we need to understand about SEO is that forget about the on-page, off-page backlinks and the advanced creative stuff. Start with the keywords. Write that down. Start with the keywords. Know exactly what the keywords are, but not just any keyword, because the problem with what most people think when they think about keywords is they don't know what they should be targeting. They think that, oh, I'm selling a t-shirt store, so I'm selling t-shirts in my store, right? So they want to rank for keywords like t-shirts or shirts or sweatshirt. You can't just SEO something that you think the market is looking for. And so what you need to know is what you're targeting in the first place. Now, the way that search engines work, especially the top search engines like Google, is that they are very much keyword based. So before you think about the keywords themselves, though, one thing that's even more powerful that is going to play a big role on how well your keywords are ranking is your actual brand itself. Write that down. Branding is way more powerful. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you think about most people who find different things with a keyword, and let's say that somehow, some way, you do a really good job on your SEO, and you're able to rank really, really well on something like a Blue Yeti microphone, right? And in one of the phrases that you find that has a lot of searches, is really popular, you rank really well, and doggone it, you happen to be on page one, number one. How awesome is that, right? But what's going to happen when somebody clicks through to a site that they don't know, they don't like, they don't trust? Chances are they're not going to buy from you, right? They don't know who you are. They cannot tell you apart from a bar of soap. Why should I pay this guy or gal money on something that I don't know whether or not I'm going to receive? So I don't know about you, but for me, a lot of times when I do that, I click on the back button, and unfortunately, right, and it's just the reality of many things, right? We then go to a store like Amazon. We then go to maybe eBay, or depending on where you might be around the world, right? Some stores like Lazada may be very popular. Some people go to AliExpress or Alibaba. Some people like to go to Shopee, right? They go to these kinds of stores because these kinds of stores have that reputation. These kinds of stores have the authority and the credibility. And so, yes, SEO and keywords are important, but at the end of the day, if, let's say, this isn't something that somebody can trust, your store isn't something that somebody knows about, at least initially, the branding isn't consistent, right? It doesn't look professional enough. The good news is that if you're using Groove and GrooveKart, your store is going to look spectacular, right? So don't worry about that. But for most people, they don't know how to build a website. They don't know how to build a good looking, credible looking type of store. And so when that happens, you're losing customers, right? You're losing your brand. And so a good brand can be a variety of many other factors as well, not just the look and feel, but here's a few other things that you might want to ask yourself. Is your brand a good brand? Is it a well-known brand, let's say in your industry? In a small little circle, are there people who might be actually be searching for it? How long has it been around? Do you have a good social media presence? Because believe it or not, one of the things that Google does look at is, in addition to just your website, they see your domain name, they see your store, but they gauge how serious are you about your business. They base that off of your social media presence. Because if you are not a serious business owner, right, you're not going to bother to create a Facebook page or a YouTube channel or a Twitter profile and start uploading pictures onto Instagram, right? So all these things also come into play. The branding, the setting up the startup phase of your business, all of these are super important before you even try to gauge how can you rank for this keyword or that keyword. Because even if you do everything correctly, but unfortunately, on the branding aspect, it's not up to par according to the top search engines like Google, and they're not going to rank you well anyway. Do you have a community? Do you have fans and customers that people, support, right? Is that something that you have? Is it associated with any other brands? Are your members also involved in other popular social media groups? These are all the things, by the way, that if you think about it, Groove has, right? It's a brand, but before it even became a global brand, we started building a community of people. We built a social media presence. We made sure that we had our customers, the support was there. We started doing live webinars and live streams and really global support. These are the kind of things that typically a serious business is going to do for the growth, right, of their company. And so with all of that combined, if you do the branding correctly, then awesome, right? The next thing that we need to think about, what keywords are your target audience actually searching for? Now, when this is the case, right, and you have all of your branding correct, and the way that you test, by the way, whether or not you have a good brand, and let me go ahead and, as Frank mentioned earlier, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for just a moment. And I know when I do like live demos and I do searches and things like that, people say, hey, so, how do I know that you didn't pre-search anything? Or how do I know that it's not your user history or anything like that, right? Folks, this is an incognito window, okay? An incognito window means that there's no history of any kind of searches. It can delete all your cookies. And so this is a fresh start, right? So we've gone incognito. And let's say, for example, if I want to go to google.com, and of course, with our community, right here, our lovely, amazing community. You can see all the trending searches over there. If we do a search, let's say, for example, for GrooveCM, right? How do we know whether or not this is something that is well branded? Well, if it's well branded, if you do a search on your own brand outside of the ads, which of course we talked about pay-per-click earlier, right? This is a pay-per-click ad for Groove.cm. But when you scroll down just a little bit, and by the way, you can see that it's an ad because right here, it says ad, right? So this is a Google ad. Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that on page number one, of course, on a search for GrooveCM, you're going to see that we are ranked on page number one, and with good reason, right? Because it's our brand, it's our website. It's something that unless we completely and totally messed up, right, then we wouldn't be on page one. We wouldn't be anywhere on Google. But if you do things right and you do it correctly, do a search on your own brand, and you will show up on the first page, if not on page number one, or somewhere along those lines, right? Let's do another example, because I know that Frank worked really, really hard on the official Groove store, which we call Groove Gear, right? So if you do a search for Groove Gear, you'll see that Groove Gear also did a great job when it comes to branding ourselves. We're associating ourselves, right, with yet another big community, which happens to be Groove.cm. We have our own customers and our own members. We got people who are buying things. We have popular products and services. The website looks great. The store looks spectacular, right? And so when we do a search for Groove Gear, you'll notice that we don't have any ads running for that. And so with that, page number one, right over here, we see groovegear.com, right? Groovegear.com. So you know that we're doing a great job when it comes to building our own brand. Again, one of the first things that you ultimately want to do. And if you remind me again, Mr. Frank, the name of the cat.
Oh, our demo store we've been working on, My Cat Swag.
My Cat Swag, right? So let's take a look at this.
It definitely won't.
Hey,
That's
actually,
interesting.
great job, Mr. Frank. Now, can we improve on the SEO? Can we do more for the targeting? Of course we can,
Yes.
right? Because, as you can see right here, even though it's not properly optimized per se,
Yeah.
right? You see that My Cat
Yeah,
Swag
it's not.
is actually on page number one as well. So with all of that, we'll talk more about how we can improve the look and feel of this, how we can improve what we call the title tag over here, how we can improve the descriptions and all those things as well. But that's one of the first things, right, that you're going to want to check out is whether or not your branding is consistent. Now, next, now that we know that we have a pretty good brand, right, what is the next thing that we want to do when it comes to launching our SEO? How is it that we want to start searching for different things that people will be searching on? Here's the funny thing, right? Because every time that we talk about SEO, and whether it's me as the trainer, whether it's somebody else, a lot of people, number one questions, right? When we're talking about keyword, what keyword tool do you suggest? How can I find the best keywords? What is the best way for me to do keyword research? Now, no doubt, there are definitely a lot of different keyword tools out there. In fact, Google has its own keyword tool as well. The thing about that is that over the years, things have definitely changed. 20 years ago, when I first worked at Google, that tool was spectacular. It gave us a lot of information. It gave us down to the second, the number of searches per country, different cities, right? Different things that people may be searching on and related searches. Now, as we fast forward 15, 20 years later, what you'll notice is that Google gives us less and less information. And some of the information that they do share are kind of vague. It's not as clear cut as they used to be. And so when that happens, of course, everyone sees that as a business opportunity. The top marketers, right? They see that as an opportunity. They go out there, they create their own keyword tools and say, oh, this keyword tool is awesome. You should be using this. That keyword tool is awesome. You should be using that. The thing is, there's only one place, one company, one system in the world that actually has access to the information that you're looking for, the data. What are the keywords that people are searching for, right? How many people are searching for that? What's the search volume? All that information is owned by Google. Google is the only company that knows that information. But here's the thing. Remember when we said that Google doesn't even share that information with us anymore? Well, that here lies within the problem, right? This means that all of the tools, the keyword tools that you look for, that you're searching on, that you're trying to use to find more information about certain keywords, here's the thing. None of them, and I repeat, none of them are accurate. None of them actually give us the accurate numbers. That's the unfortunate truth. If you do a keyword search on one of the tools, and you find that, oh, this tool gives me 1,000,000, let's just say on average, different search volume a month, you do the same search on another tool, chances are you're going to get a different answer. It might be 500,000. It might be 2,000,000. You do the same search on yet another tool, you're going to get a different set of numbers. So ask yourself then, which one is the real deal, right? Which one gives me the most accurate numbers? Which one is correct? Probably, and I would probably bet my last dollar on this, none of them. None of them are actually giving you the exact number that you want. So there's the $1,000,000 question, right? Then what is the point of using all these different kinds of tools? So this goes back to our main problem, right? So if we want to find out exactly what people are searching for, then what is it that we should do? Now, let's take a look and take a step back into the cat swag, like My Cat Swag, right? If we take a look and try and figure out exactly what it is that people might be searching on that would constitute as a relevant product or service on our end to offer to somebody who might be searching for something like this, right? Here's the thing again. Most people, they will start thinking of keywords like t-shirts or maybe sweatshirts or maybe mug or bag or hats or accessories, right? Because that's what the store sells. The problem is that these keywords are too broad. Write that down. These keywords are way too broad. In other words, it's too short. If somebody is searching for a t-shirt, they might be searching for a Bon Jovi t-shirt, right? They might be searching for a picture of a t-shirt. They might be searching for how to color a t-shirt. They might be looking for a t-shirt from the 80s. They might be looking for how to start a t-shirt store, right? None of which is what we offer at mycatswag.com. So that's why, in order for you to get good SEO, in order for you to even think about using the search engine optimization strategy, you need to have the right keywords. So think beyond the keywords that are too short and too broad. You want to be more specific. Write that down. You want to be more specific. This means that the longer the keywords are, the better and the more relevant they may become. So what this means to you is that you may want to start figuring out longer phrases instead of just t-shirts. Maybe cat t-shirts, right? That's a little bit more specific, isn't it? Do you agree? If you agree, type in the word agree inside the comments. Or maybe if you want to be even more specific than that, remember earlier when we said it's not just about finding people who are looking for you. It's great if somebody is searching for cat t-shirt or cat sweatshirt. Awesome if they found you on page number one. But again, what if they're not necessarily looking to buy a t-shirt, right? Maybe they're looking for how to create a cat t-shirt. How do I sell a cat t-shirt? Where can I find cat t-shirts from Australia, from Thailand, from Singapore, from another country, right? So all these things we need to consider. Now, the best way for you to not only rank, but also convert when it comes to SEO and finding the right keywords is you need to be as specific as possible so that you know that when somebody is searching for that keyword, and you don't need millions of people searching on that keyword. If you have dozens of people, if you have hundreds of people searching on that keyword that's relevant to you, then that's all you need. Because if, let's say, for example, now someone is searching for buy cute cat t-shirts, do you think that if you're selling cute cat t-shirts on your e-commerce store, that your store might have relevant products that this customer might want, right? So the answer, by the way, is yes, because now we're getting more and more specific, right? We're getting more and more relevant. Buy cute cat t-shirts for kids, right? Or buy cute kittens, 2 cute kittens playing in a snow mug, right? These are all examples of different keywords that you can potentially be targeting. Now, what are the actual keywords that people are searching on? Because those few keywords that I just mentioned, I just pulled them out off the top of my head, right? I have no idea if people are actually searching on them. But if, let's say, they are, the good news is that Google, believe it or not, they will tell you if people are actually searching for them. So let's just say, for example, I'm over here, and now let's get into the keyword research phase, okay? Let's get into the keyword research mode and see exactly what Google is telling us exactly what people are searching on. So if I start typing, and I'm sure you notice as well, right? Every time that you start typing on Google, it's going to start to give you some additional suggestions, right? You type in cats, it'll give you catalog, right? I think this is the UK type of spelling, or catalog, or cats, or Cathay Pacific, right? The more that you start to type, the more that Google is going to give you suggestions, right? So if I type cat t-shirt, for example, right? Or cat shirt, let's see over here, okay? Then Google is going to say, oh, so you're looking for something along the lines of cat shirt. Let me share with you some additional suggestions, right? This is what we call Google Suggest. Cat shirts, cat shirt pattern, cat shirts for men, cat shirts for women, cat shirt design, cat shirts Amazon. What we'll notice is that some of these are relevant, some of these are not, right? If we're searching, for example, if someone's searching for a cat shirt pattern, they may or may not be interested in buying a t-shirt because they might actually be interested in selling one, right? If someone is searching for cat shirts Amazon, maybe that's not relevant to us because they're looking for t-shirts that are being sold on Amazon, right? So when they come to our website, it's going to be a surprise. Hey, this isn't Amazon.com. Maybe we don't want something like that, right? But on the other hand, we see cat shirts for men. We see cat shirts for women. We see cat shirts for girl, cat shirts funny. Even if you type in cat shirt for, it'll give you some additional suggestions, right? And so with that, you'll see cat shirt for over grooming. Well, we know then this one is talking about an actual shirt for cats and not really a t-shirt with a cat design, right? So you can pretty much tell, what these kind of searches are. Here's the interesting thing. The reason why I'm showing you what we call Google Suggest is not just because when you're typing this, Google is suggesting this off the top of their head. Hey, maybe you're searching for this. Maybe you'll be interested in that. Here is something that you might want to consider. No. The reason why, as you're typing, Google is giving you additional suggestions is because according to the Google database, these are keywords. Cat shirt for cats, cat shirt for girl, cat shirt for boy, right? These are all actual keywords that people have searched on, not within the last year, not since the beginning of time. These are the actual keywords that people have searched on within the last 24 to 48 hours. In other words, these are fresh, these are brand new information, brand new data that Google is pushing to us and saying, hey, if this is something that you're interested in, of course, with a slightly different intention, right? They're saying, I'm suggesting this to you because other people are also searching for this. As recently as yesterday, maybe even today, people are searching for this. Are you also searching for the same thing? Okay, that's their intention. But as marketers, as business owners, as people who want to do SEO for our websites, the same benefit comes in because Google is now telling us, hey, Jack, real people are searching for this and have been searching for this within the last 1 or 2 days, right? These are real searches, a significant amount of searches, enough to garner a suggestion directly by Google. And this is Google also telling us that if we want to create our own websites, create our own store, and do our own keyword research, these are the keywords that you need to recommend. These are the keywords that are going to get you customers. These are the keywords that will generate you sales. All right, so that's what Google is telling us. So if, let's say, for example, we want to be even more specific, and let's say, with buyer intent, right? Not just cat shirt, but let's say, are people actually searching for buy cat shirt? It looks like it, right? People are actually searching for buy cat shirts AU for Australia, buy cat t-shirts, buy cat blouse, buy cat print shirt, buy black cat shirt. So whatever keyword, again, is relevant to you, okay? What's relevant to you and your product and your service, this is where you can go to find a keyword that might be significant to you. So that's why keywords are important, right? Keep in mind that we can do what we can for keyword research, but when it comes to SEO, it's almost always a hit and a miss. What do I mean by that? A hit and a miss because just because some people are searching for a buy black cat t-shirt, and let's just say it's something that's relevant to you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can necessarily hit this target, right? If you optimize for buy black cat shirt, it doesn't necessarily mean that without any effort that you will be able to optimize for it, that you'll be able to get good rankings for it. It means that it's something that people are searching for, and it means that it's worth a test for you to start using, okay? Some of these keywords you will do well on. Some of them, maybe not so much. Some of them, maybe after a little bit of effort. So it is very much a numbers game. Write that down. It is a numbers game. SEO is a numbers game. You don't want to only target one keyword or two keywords or even three keywords. As many keywords as possible. I have websites. I have sites that I've done for my clients where we target hundreds, if not thousands of keywords, because again, some will rank well, some won't. Some will rank well instantaneously, while others, even after months and months and months of hard work, is still not going to rank anywhere near as well as some of the other keywords. There is no way, absolutely no way, for you to predict how well certain keywords are going to do. And so as we mentioned earlier, right, once you find the keywords, it's not just about placing them, let's say on your website. what you need to do is you're going to eventually need to place them in what we call a title tag, right? So we see this example right here. What do I mean by title tag? Every time that you do a search, what you'll notice is that there's always a first line, right? There's always a first line within the search result itself. Now, in the ideal world, if we truly were searching for or targeting my cat swag, right? We would have my cat swag right here in the title as opposed to welcome to my GrooveKart store. Now, I presume that welcome to my GrooveKart store is something that basically is by default within the GrooveKart system.
Yes. Yeah.
So wherever it is, and I'll leave it to Frank, okay, because he's the GrooveKart god, right? He's gonna show you exactly where it is to be able to change all that kind of stuff. This means that wherever it is by default, right? Welcome to my GrooveKart store. It was left unchanged. But here's the thing, because GrooveKart is such a great system, because Frank is such a great guy, we're leveraging on Groove.cm, which is a super tremendous platform, right? We're still getting huge authority to your GrooveKart store. And so with all of that, we're still able to get page one, number one for our brand. But if we want to rank for something more specific, the number one place or the top place online that you can find your cat swag, right? Your cat t-shirts or your cat mugs or stickers or decals, whatever else, right? Then this is where you're going to want to put all of your keywords right over here in the title tag. And just the same, right? If let's say you want to create a blog, if you want to write an article, if you want to create a video, if you have different product names, right there on the first line is where you're going to want your keywords to be. So I'm going to show you something that is very interesting, because earlier I mentioned, for us, it's not just about, targeting the actual store itself. You also want to do really well, and you also want to be able to spread out your social media presence, right? If we go to our YouTube channel, which you can see right over here. And by the way, if you haven't had the chance to do so, make sure that you're here. You subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications. Make sure that you're also liking us on our Facebook pages, join us inside of our groups, turn on all those different notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any time that Frank goes live. Any one of us also goes live, and brand new content also goes live as well. So here's the thing, right? Things are always a hit and a miss. When you come to our channel, you're going to see a lot of great content, right? You see that we go on live stream multiple times a week. You'll also see videos on SEO right over here if you want to learn more. You also see a lot of really cool content from Frank as well. If we go ahead and click right here on where it says videos, okay, it'll just be a lot easier, because now you will see a lot of different titles of the videos. And again, sometimes they may be a hit or a miss, but the basis of this is that once you find your keyword, whatever keyword it might be, you're going to want to make sure that you want to put this in the title of the actual video itself. So in this example, let's say I want to find one of these. Okay, and just so that you know, sometimes, as we mentioned, it is a hit and a miss. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer before things rank. And so with all of that, keep that with a grain of salt with all the information. But let's just say, for example, I want to focus on this, right? How many keywords should you focus on per page? I'm going to go back to Google. I'm going to go back and do my search right here. How many keywords should you focus on? Should you focus on per page? Should you focus on per page? You can see that before I even finished typing this in, right? Google had already suggested this as an actual keyword. So this is how you know we don't just talk the talk. We walk the walk, because we actually did our own keyword research and saw what it was that Google was telling us that people were searching for. So how many keywords should you focus on per page, right? This is the actual keyword that we use. And so if we do that, by the way, you'll see that there's 167 million search results, which, yes, it's a lot of competition, right? A lot of people are actually searching for that. And just so out of curiosity, you'll see that when you scroll down, our video, Groove.cm, 6 days ago, happens to be on the first page of the results. Right now, not yet with Groove.cm, because we weren't actually targeting that. Not on the Groove blog, because we didn't actually have that and targeting that or optimizing for that as well. But as you can see, with 167 million search results, our video is on the first page of Google. What do you think about that, Frank?
That's pretty good. And it's the only video thumbnail. So it's like getting, to me, it's like it's going to get attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you'll notice is that right here, right? How many keywords should you focus on per page? That is on the title of our video as well.
That's
so
awesome.
Lots of different things like that we're also doing. Obviously, the shorter the keyword, the more difficult is going to be ranking for. So SEO friendly content examples. I mean, we're just really rolling the dice on this one.
Yeah.
But let's say SEO friendly content examples, right? Again, something that Google has suggested. So we're going to go ahead and do that. 8.6 million search results. We scroll down and, well, unfortunately for this one, we're not on page 1. Yeah. But because it's so short, let's see if we click on page 2. It's not there yet. It's just a couple of days also. Give it some time. But let's take a look at videos. All right, so this one looks like it might be a little bit premature because it's just 1 day old, right? It might not even be indexed yet, but that's just an example of what we do, right? We do an optimization, we upload it, we post it, and then if you're really, really anxious, right? You want to see exactly where you're ranking, then you can start searching. But usually it does take anywhere between 1 to 3 days, sometimes 5 days or more for you to start getting some searches in. But I'm gonna go ahead and do another search right here for one of Frank's videos. It says GrooveKart bug fixes Google Docs 14. Okay, I'm not even gonna, okay, let's just go ahead and put in the date. Why not? Because this is an example that I want to show you. What is this, right? Page 1, number 1. Not to be unexpected, of course, because this is something that is a very, very specific kind of keywords. But here's the thing, right? The more specific that you are, the better your chances are of actually ranking well. But in addition to that, if you have a specific keyword, it doesn't mean that the only time that you're going to show up is for that specific keyword. Yes, it gets us onto page 1, number 1, because 1 day ago, Frank uploaded this message and shared this with us, right? But as you can see right down here, there's also another video that Frank had uploaded called GrooveKart Updates, June 2022. This one was 2 weeks ago, right? And so with that, this means that even though this was not exactly every single word within this key phrase right over here, but because it's related, because it does contain, right, GrooveKart, and then June 2022, even though this one doesn't have updates, Google still sees this as something that's potentially relevant, is start to display additional information for you here as well. So this is a perfect example, by the way, because as you can see, right, page 1, number 1, we got the exact match of the title, but page 1, number 2 is the YouTube channel for Groove. Page 1, number 3 is another video by Frank. Page 1, number 4 is yet another video. It looks like it's embedded onto somebody else's website, but it's one of the videos that Frank also created, right? So this is yet another great example of what we call, right, multiple platforms and multiple search results within the same search. The Groove SEO that we mentioned about, and what Frank asked, right? Can you give us some examples of, let's say, if you do a search and you have multiple different search results on the same keyword? What do you mean by that? This is what we mean by that. The more that you do this, and that's what we say, it's a numbers game, right? The more that you do this, and not just for videos, you also do this for your blogs. You also do this for your articles, right? This is something that you're actually going to want to do. So if, let's say, for example, we're right over here, we do a search for, well, it's not a search, we're going to go directly to the groove.cm/blog, okay? What you'll notice here is that we have a blog, and apparently in the recent, Groove growth types of post, these are not keyword optimized, right?
No.
These magic fingers or the last cigarettes or silly humans, these are not keyword optimized. And it's okay, because not everything necessarily have to be keyword optimized. But out of curiosity, what I want to do is now I want to click through to some of our older posts. Maybe things that we did before we actually went into the Groove growth stuff because a walk, train your mind. Okay, here's one, right? This one looks like it's a lot more keyword targeted. 8 ways to make money with Groove, make money online with Groove. So now if let's say I click through on this, right? And I check out this article. If my actual keyword that I want to optimize for is 8 ways to make money online with Groove, then this is exactly what you should be doing, right? You want to put the keyword right here within the title, within the actual image itself. You're going to have a lot more information in the post. You got the images, you got the graphics, you got the post, you got the content. But what I'm curious about, right, is how well we're doing as a blog, as an authority site. If I highlight this, right, 8 ways to make money online with Groove, and I want to do a search on this on Google, I want to see where we are on the actual search results itself, right? In the front, you're going to see a lot of different videos, which is great because for us, again, this is a groove.cm video. This one's also a groove.cm video. In fact, a lot of these are also Groove videos. But when we scroll down, we see the first actual post, the first actual search result is from the groove.cm blog, right? So what is our takeaway? Our takeaway is that whether you realize this or not, whether you are intending to do this or not, okay? Everything that we're doing, whether you're creating a video, whether you're uploading content on YouTube, even on GrooveKart, you are doing SEO already. Because of the way that the GrooveKart system is built out, you are doing SEO already. Is that cool? That's cool, right? If you think that's cool, type in the word cool inside the comments. The thing is, whether or not you have the right keyword to optimize for that post, that's the real question. So what do I mean when I say you are already doing SEO? Well, let's take a look at one of our favorite stores right over here, okay? This is groovegear.com. And if let's say, for example, and I don't know, if I go into men's shirts, right? Or men's outerwear. I mean, what I'm curious to know is that whether or not we're actually, trying to optimize for this or not, how well we are doing in these different types of searches. So that's actually a lot of really cool shirts, by the way. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Mr. Frank has put together a lot of really cool products.
Yeah, we've added a few. I think, John Garcia started in the beginning. I've added a few, but yeah, and just Simon's going to put us to the test. I've never, when I've added items, I think of the title of the product. So let's just say the image, and this is how I've done it. The image says something. Well, I'll put what the image says as the title of the product, right? So if it was Groovezilla saying Happy New Year, it might say Groovezilla Happy New Year hoodie or something like that. So.
Right. So from what I can see, right, and how you will know what is the title of the actual or the title tag on this page is when you hover over the tab right up here. I'm not sure if you can see, but right up here on the tab over here, right over here. If you hover over that, you actually be able to see in a little quick pop-up type of thing what the title tag is for that particular page. So you can see Groovezilla, may the 4th be with you, unisex hoodie, right? The product name, the way that GrooveKart is designed is that your product name is actually the title tag of your page. So for different kinds of SEO, if let's say you do want to rank for your product name, then that's what you will put in the actual product itself. Some people, and I see it with a lot of different types of things that we have here on Groove Gear as well. We're not being so mindful about the title tag itself. And so you might have different things in parentheses, right? Like V2, whatever else that most people may not actually be searching for. But if let's say, for example, someone is searching for this phrase, Groovezilla, may the 4th be with you, hoodie, right? Because they saw Mr. Frank wear this on one of his GrooveKart shows, and wow, how cool is that shirt? I want one itself as well. They do a search on Google, and what do you see, right? What do you know? Page 1, number 1 is Groovezilla, may the 4th be with you, unisex hoodie. Now, again, the reason why we say whether you do this or not, the right way or not, right, you'll still be able to rank well, because as you can see right over here, we don't just have page 1 number 1, we also have page 1 number 2. This one is not the hoodie, this one is the sweatshirt, but because there's multiple terms that are related and Google sees this as a related product, right, then you also get multiple listings right here on the first page as well. So as you can see, right, not too many results, but at the same time, page 1 number 1, again, whether or not you realize this, you are doing SEO, because whatever it is that you happen to have right here on the first line, right, that is your title tag. Let's take a look yet on another example, another one of our favorite stores right here, mycatswag.com. I know that this site, as I was talking to Frank the other day, Frank mentioned that this is only a few months old. So as we know about SEO, a lot of things takes time, right? A lot of things require more weeks and months, sometimes even years, depending on your competition, for you to actually show up. So we cannot expect by any means for every single one of these products to actually be listed already. But if, let's say, for example, I'm just randomly taking a look at this. I know that, and by the way, the reason why we see welcome to my GrooveKart store, right, is because this is in the title tag right over here. Now, if let's say we want to look into the individual pages, okay, accessories, for example, stickers. I remember a few months ago, Frank was doing, a training on stickers, and he was so excited, about all the different potentials and the opportunity of why you should be using stickers, the decals, and the profit that you can be making. I'm not understanding why everybody isn't doing this either, but based on that example, something that really stuck out in my mind. Let's just say, out of curiosity, if I want to go over here and do a search, life is better 4x3 die cut vinyl decal, right? People may not be searching for this directly, word by word, right? But again, how are we doing when it comes to the actual result itself? So maybe, actually, it's right here. I completely missed it. Right here.
Oh, look at that.
You are on page 1. Amazing. Out of 2.5 million search results. So believe it or not, people are searching for either this or a variation of it, right? They might be searching for a Life is Better vinyl decal. There are products out there that are available. And so how can you blame it? Amazon.com actually has this product as well, but I would go toe-to-toe, head-to-head, and be second place to Amazon any day of the week, right? Here we are.
It looks like there's a lot of products that start with that phrase. Life is better with cats. Life is better with dogs. Life is better swimming. Life is better. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there you are out of 2.5 million search results on page 1. This is like page 1, number 3 or 4. I don't even know if this actually kind of counts because they're both Amazon, but 3 or 4, man, you're right over here. Again, you're doing SEO without doing SEO, without realizing that you are doing search engine optimization.
Yeah.
And then just out of curiosity again, since we're here, let's just kind of finish out where we start, do a little search on this one as well. Here for the cats. Hey, man, this one, you are page 1, number 1. You beat out even Amazon on this one, dude.
That's funny.
That's awesome. So let's all give Mr. Frank a big round of SEO applause because you are doing amazing. Again, you're doing SEO without even realizing you're doing SEO. The beautiful thing is that we have an advantage, right? We have an advantage because we are using GrooveKart, and GrooveKart itself has the credibility. It is an authority site associated with the Groove platform, which in itself has over 150,000 community members, a half a million, man, different customers around the world. This is the boss of the system. So with everything involved when you're using GrooveKart, this is something that you should absolutely do. Focus on your SEO, focus on the titles. And before we get a little bit further, I know earlier Mr. Frank was saying, so, if you can go an hour, great. If you can go, if it's less than an hour, no worries. I think that both you and I, Mr. Frank, we always tend to over deliver. There is actually a little bit more information that I do want to share. If we're okay to over deliver a little bit more either today or you want to do another session as well. But before we proceed, anything, Mr. Frank, that you would like to add?
Is there something like you're saying there when you launch your store, the backbone of it is on the GrooveKart servers. So does that authority transfer over into a new store, so to speak, when you start using the right titles, the right, I would say, product names?
The authority right now is in the platform that you're creating. And that's the benefit. Here's a great example, because back in the day, and still today, there is a site building tool within Google called Google Sites. It's been around for, it feels like, decades. Not too many people use it. Probably too few remember even exists. A lot of people still don't know about it. But what I remember, okay, from creating a lot of different sites with Google Sites is we always tend to rank really well on SEO, assuming that you got the fundamentals down, right? You got the keyword research, you got the buyer intent, you did your keyword the right way, and you got great content. So all the basics, right? And the reason why it worked really well was not because necessarily because your website was good. Sometimes it wasn't. You had the fundamentals down, great, but you could be competing, as what we're seeing on the screen, with hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of competitors, right? At the same time, a lot of our Google sites rank really well, not because of the content, not because of us, not because we did a great job, but because it was hosted on google.com. It was a site that was actually hosted on google.com. It was associated with the Google brand. And in the backbone, in the back burner, within the codes, you can see that it was actually created with the Google system, or the Google site system. Same thing over here. The good news is that whether you have a mygroovekart.com or whatever else, right? Or you created it within the GrooveKart system, it is linked back to the high authority Groove platform. So that's the benefit that we have. Am I saying that every single page, every single e-commerce store, every single GrooveKart shop that we create are going to have equally the amazing amount of SEO juice and positive results? Absolutely not, right? There's a lot of different components that go into place. That's why knowing and understanding the basics and the funnels, the fundamentals are so important. But by using Groove and by associating yourself with the power behind the system known as Groove, right? And GrooveKarts, this gives us a huge advantage over everyone else. And even if you do a fraction of the things correctly, you can still outbeat people, as we can see, outbeat Amazon.com, outbeat eBay, outbeat Pinterest, outbeat Etsy. This is amazing, man.
Yeah,
You're outbeating some of the top platforms in the world.
And it's funny because I know when we started working on the demo, and this is our store that we're using for this training series. I know when I talk to you, I'm like, okay, yeah, I didn't update the title of the page, the title of the website. All that is just the way it comes default. And it's funny that it's still, because it's powered by GrooveKart, it gave the My Cat Swag store that has no visitors, nothing like that. It gave it this SEO juice when people are typing in. So like I could literally go back and start thinking of all these different phrases that are popular among cat lovers and go add those products, guys, to the store. And that'll over time start getting organic traffic, not for everything, but over time, depending, like Simon said, how specific those phrases are. The more words, the longer the phrase, the longer tail keyword that you're using, the more likelihood you're going to get found by the person who's looking for that item or something.
Absolutely. That's right. That is absolutely right. Now, when it comes to SEO, just so that you know, this is normally a 2 or 3 day intensive course just on the fundamentals, right? Yeah. So if we were to say, oh yeah, we'll share everything you'll ever need to know about SEO in this 1 or 2 hours that we have with you, absolutely not. That is not humanly possible. In fact, you don't want that to be possible, because it means that you are missing out on so much more pertinent information that you really do need to dive into. So what I do want to share with you, though, since we are here and since we do have Frank, is a little bit more behind the scenes within GrooveKarts on the SEO settings that we do have control over. So if I may, I'm going to go over here. This is our Groove store over here. And there's a lot of different functions. And by the way, the reason why I say, why we have Frank here is because Frank is the master when it comes to GrooveKart. I just logged in for the first time in a few weeks, just a couple of days ago, and I got lost navigating through this thing because a few days ago or a few weeks ago, there was a huge overhaul, a huge makeover with the GrooveKart system, lots of improvements, lots of cool things got added. And so I was just bombarded with so many cool things. I didn't know where to go. And so if I get lost, Mr. Frank, you let me know.
Oh, no problem.
So over here, all right, so this is the GrooveKart dashboard, okay, for the stores. And what you want to do, and the last time that I looked over here, it was under settings. So last time that the settings was over here or over here, but I guess this is the settings over here now, right? Yeah. So under settings, the first thing that we want to take a look at is none of this information right over here. Let me go ahead and play this by ear. If I click on store information, let's see what I see. Okay, under store information, let this load for just a moment. Okay, you're going to see a little bit of information over here, which is good. Store information, you have your store name over here, notification, street address, or your store address. One thing that you need to realize and understand, and it's something that I'll show you later as well once we get into the product section, is that everything that appears on your page, even though it doesn't say specifically, right, within GrooveKart that this is SEO related. It doesn't say that this is your SEO settings or your meta tags or whatever else. Anything that appears on your page can potentially be related or can affect your SEO. So over here, if we have the store name as Groove Gear, just Groove Gear, right, and assuming that does appear somewhere within the page itself, we might want to consider something in addition to that, right? Something like Groove Gear, your #1 place for official Groove products and services, for Groove swag or whatever else, just something else in addition that may or may not be keyword related, right? So right now, what we're doing is we're banking on somebody potentially searching on the Groove Gear keyword, the Groove Gear brand, which, as we know, not everybody does. Some people do. And when they do, it's great. We happen to be on page #1, but any opportunity that we get, we also want to put in a little bit more information, right? So over here, under store name is fine. Notification, emails, and store address, you probably don't want to put too much additional information over that. Make sure that, of course, you also include you want to include your images over here, your logo, and everything else, because that's all going to get indexed by Google as well. Now, the last time that I checked somewhere around here, Mr. Frank, maybe this is where you can help me out.
Oh, you look maybe for the builder. The builder probably would be the section like on my Catswag where I left the title of the site by default and things like that. So when this loads, if you click on the home page, there'll be like 3 dots you can click on and you can see the settings of the home page once this loads up.
Okay. Oh, but actually, I'm on the Groove Gear.
Yeah, you're not on my Catswag, but as long as let's see.
Oh, wait, this is actually loading the builder. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, you can definitely go to my Catswag and load the builder in there instead, just since it's a demo. Yeah.
Okay. Before we actually go into the Catswag, there was a section somewhere around here before that said something along the lines of a sitemap or a Google sitemap. Do you know where that happens to be?
That's under pixels, feeds. Go back to settings down there.
Right here. Yeah. Pixels, feeds. There you go. Right there. Pixels, feeds, and embed codes. All right. So one thing that I do want to share with you is that this is something that not every single store builder has. Not every single platform has, and even so, not one that is highlighted or one that people are using effectively. The good news is that once you come over here, you see pixels, you see feeds, you see embed codes. This gives you the option to do many additional things in advanced SEO. That's going to take me more than 5 or 10 minutes to explain to you. But if you are familiar with, let's say, the Google system, right? The Google system has things like Google Search Console, as well as Google Analytics. And what you would normally do is you would connect your website, or in this case, your GrooveKart store, to the actual Google system, your Google Analytics account, your Google Search Console account, and they will give you a code. And this is where you will put your code. Now, again, without going into too technical, we're not going to touch on this too much, but of course, anything that has to do with pixels or feeds or the embedding of codes, this will allow you to get some additional communication with other search engines, with Facebook and other advertising platforms, so that you can actually communicate with them and they will give you information, you will give them information about the progress of your organic search results. Now, one thing that I do want to highlight that doesn't require too much of the coding or technical concepts is right here where it says sitemaps. Okay, again, something very thoughtful by the Groove team to actually include this on here, because this is gonna be extraordinary, amazing for your SEO. Once you click on sitemap, okay, you will see an option for you to upload a file. What you want to do is you want to upload a file of your sitemap. Now, unfortunately, I don't see that this site automatically generates the sitemap on your behalf, but let me first explain what happens when you upload a sitemap. A sitemap is basically a whole bunch of codes, okay, by human eyes, by people who don't know how to, do programming or don't know HTML or Java or CSS. Is gibberish to them, right? It's not something that you need to understand. But what this is it's a whole bunch of codes that communicate with the search engines that tells them what other pages exist on your website. Let me say that again. A sitemap communicates with the search engines and tells them what other links and other pages you have on your website. So in other words, it allows your website and all its pages to be indexed. It allows them to be updated, and all the search engines are up to speed when it comes to what is the latest and greatest in terms of the updated information that is available on your landing pages. Now, a sitemap is important for a variety of things. If it's a brand new website, it is important for Google to know of your website's existence. That's number one. Number two is that as you start to add products, as you start to add pages, you want to add blogs and posts and connect things on social media, right? This sitemap will always continue to communicate with the search engines. And then that means that more and more of your pages will be updated. So earlier you saw that when we did some examples of even some YouTube videos, right? We couldn't find them on Google because Google doesn't know of the existence of those videos just yet. But when we have a sitemap, which unfortunately is not something that we can do on YouTube because it's not a site that is owned by us, right? If you have a sitemap, you're always consistently communicating with the search engines. And so when you add brand new products, your website and the search engines will ping each other, okay? And they will communicate. And this means that your content will be ranked a lot faster. So what can you do with the sitemap over here? What you want to do right now is you want to go to, let's say, Google, all right? And we're going to do a search for sitemap generator.
There you go.
All right. Anytime that you...
So Simon, I know just off the top of my head, if you so graciously would, I'm gonna have you come back and we're gonna go over with my cat swag, showing everyone related to how we would set up Google Analytics in conjunction with Google Search Console, so that they can see how that works, and it just will maybe give them a general overview of how to look at analytics and things like that. Maybe even show them how to make the UTM, when they're generating campaigns, so they can see what campaigns are working, if they're getting influencer traffic or TikTok ad traffic. So I don't know when we'll plan it, guys, and that'll be a training. If you agree, if you want to, Simon, and we'll go over Google Analytics and Google Search Console, and that'll be all we'll go over for that training. If you want to do that.
Yeah, if you want to type in SEO inside the comments, if we have, significant people who are responding and saying, hey, you want it, then let's go ahead and do it. Otherwise, absolutely not. No way.
Yeah.
No way in hell. Of course, we're joking. But yes, if this is something that you want, obviously we're seeing some people inside of the comments. By the way, I want to say hi to Michelle, who is joining us. We got Mohammed, who is saying cool. Jeevan Jat is also joining us as well. Glad to see this happening. We got Alexander, who is also joining us as well. Ming Ru, who is a part of our Groove expansion project community as well. Also saying SEO, red hot save is interested. SEO, please. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We also got additional Facebook users who are, expressing interest. All right. So I'll put that into consideration. If Frank is nice enough to me over the next week, then maybe we'll have a conversation about that. Not just kidding. Of course, we'll be more than happy to come back and give you some additional information about that, because we know that when it comes to SEO, when it comes to especially the topic that we intend to talk about, the Google Search Console, Google Analytics, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're all fresh for that. Now, before we do let you go, we're going to go back into the dashboard over here. And then one final thing that we do want to cover is under products, the SEO section, Mr. Frank?
Yes.
Under my products, right?
My products, and then you go to edit a product. Yeah.
So for every single product that you add in, just like every single blog post, just like every single article, just like every single video on your YouTube channel, right? Every single product is your opportunity to do some SEO. That's why, if you recall, we did a little search earlier on the product level, because every single product also has the product name in the title tag. That's how we actually rank well with SEO. And so if, let's say, one of your strategies, not necessarily going into the videos and with the YouTube and with your blogs and everything else. Let's say one of your strategies is you want, when people are searching for your product name, they actually find your store on Google, just like what we're able to do moments ago, right? With My Cat Swag, we beat Amazon, we beat Walmart, we beat eBay, we beat Etsy, we beat Pinterest. How did we do that? And how would you like to also do that, right? If you go into, let's say, one of these products, GrooveZilla Stumping. Hey, I want one of these as well. There's a purple one. When did that happen?
Yeah, I think we did it right towards the end of the year in 2021.
Oh man, where was I? All right, so you can see this GrooveZilla shirt, for example, right? So this is normally what we do. We type in the information here, basically for our customers, right? For the GrooveKart store, and say, this is what we want the information we want our customers to see. Great and dandy, a great strategy. But here's the thing, right? Remember what we said earlier. Every single piece of content that you put on your page, every single place on your product page that has words, that has text on the screen, right? These are all additional opportunities for you to optimize with additional secondary keywords that you want to target, different related terms that you want people to see as well. And especially on the title itself, this is where it's going to be. Okay, so if you know that you have a product that you want to target and you want that name, okay, to actually be the target title phrase, this is where you want to put the product name. Okay, the product name, aka your title tag, is right over here. Now, as you scroll through, okay, and I'll get into the tags and categories in just a moment, but as you can see over here, under descriptions, now for most of us, we say, well, in the description, I'm just going to briefly explain what this product is, right? So in this case, you'll see, ring in the new year with this awesome GrooveZilla Stomping on 2021 purple design. That's great because we repeated the keyword again, but keep in mind, okay, this is a tool. GrooveKart is a tool created for marketers by marketers, which means that we know if you want to best your organic reach, it is much better for you to be elaborate in your content as opposed to giving a short description. There is a reason, by the way, if you take a look right down over here, that you have 8,000 characters that are allowed within your description. It's because as a tool that is created by marketers, we want you to be elaborate in your description, not just for the purpose of you explaining to your customers what the product is about. They don't need to know that you're going to have, small size and XL size and all these different sizes and different colors. They don't need a repetition of that information. In fact, most of the people are not going to read all 8,000 characters. The reason why those 8,000 characters are there is for SEO purposes. Okay, so that you can write more content, so that you can be more elaborate, so that you can include more keywords that you want people to search for and find your product on, right? Include the different colors, include the different sizes, include ladies and boys and girls and kids and women and men, all these search terms that people are searching on, include all of them right here within the description. As you scroll down, you'll see full product description again. So some additional places where you have even more. This one has a lot more content. Awesome, right? 753 out of 8,000 characters. But guess what? This is yet another 8,000 characters that you can use to include in your searches, in your content. And by the way, all these different words that you might type in, they have the potential of showing up in the Google search as well, not just in the title. Anything that's on your page. If you mention, GrooveZilla somewhere within here, and by the way, I'm going to use this as an example. If you mention Brazilla, right, in the description, even though it's not right here in the title or in the title over here, okay, it can still show up. And the reason why it's a little sidetrack of a little funny story, I thought it was funny, is I was looking through the Groove Gear store earlier, and my little girl comes in, and she sees Brazilla, and she's like, Brazilla? What is Brazilla? I know of GrooveZilla, but what is Brazilla? And I was like, oh, well, Brazilla is from Brazil. It's the Brazil version of GrooveZilla. And then she was like, oh, okay, I get it. So does that mean that the GrooveZilla is from GrooveZill? Right? So I don't know. It's just
That's
me. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that it's funny.
No, I get it. That's funny.
GrooveZill, but I mean, she said it as a joke. So a little 8-year-old trying to crack a joke, but that's an 8-year-old little kid joke for you. But with all of that, right? Everything that you put over here, even if you want to put Brazilla is from Brazil and GrooveZilla is from Brazil, right here inside of the description anywhere, right? Even though it's not in the actual title itself, it can still show up in the search engine. So take advantage of the descriptions. Take advantage of everything that will show up on the page and on the screen. Finally, what you'll see right over here is where it says SEO, right? And now this is, even though this is SEO, this is not the only aspect, of course, that will affect your SEO. This is the actual metadata of the SEO. So things that the search engines will see, but most people who are on the screen, they may not see this on your page. And that's because this information is designed to be communicating with the search engines and not so much with the end user. So over here, under the SEO, this would be a great place for you to add in additional information in the title, add in more information about the data, and then the URL. So all this information over here, you want to enter in as specifically as possible, because it's also something that people will see. Now, as you take a look over here as well, okay, this actually is something that is a feature within Groove. Because if we go back to the searches over here, remember earlier when we said, yeah, if we do a search for, what was it? My cat swag, right? That was the example that we saw. Over here, you'll see that, but over here is welcome to my GrooveKart store. Now, if you want to change this, okay, this is where the meta title comes in. Over here, you'll see support@mycatswag.com, logo 0, and item was added to your cart, your shopping cart. None of this makes sense, right? None of this makes sense. And that's because what Google is doing is they're taking information directly from your homepage. And whatever content that they see on that screen, they put that right over here.
Yeah, so it's blank. I guarantee it's blank. Yeah.
Yep, they put that right over here. So when something is not optimized, when something hasn't been edited, right, then you're going to see a lot of the default content, which kind of looks like this, right? Great example. Now, if let's say we want to change, welcome to my GrooveKart store. Okay, and instead, we want to put this over here, right? We actually want to have in the meta title a custom title over here. I don't want this to be the same name as the product. I don't want this to be the same title as the title tag. I want something that's unique under SEO. This is where you will enter that in. And when you do that, okay, now when let's say somebody does a search on this keyword and your search result actually shows up within google.com, now they will see whatever it is that you customized right over here. So as you can see, instead of whatever the original thing might be, Groovezilla stomping out 2021 purple is right over here in the title. And instead of shopping cart, 0, add to cart, or whatever else, right? You see that we have a customized meta description. Ring in the new year with this awesome Groovezilla stomping on 2021 purple design. You'll see right over here, this is exactly what shows up directly on the Google search results. This is a mock-up of what you see in the Google search results, right? So with that, this is doing two things. Number one is communicating in the back end with the search engines, telling them exactly what your product is about, entering some additional keywords and things like that. And in addition, it's telling Google, hey, the next time somebody searches on one of my keywords and you want to display my site, show this instead. Okay, there's definitely a lot more SEO benefits when you do that. So make sure that you do not neglect this section over here. When you scroll down, you will see some additional ways for you to customize the URL as well. Highly recommended, by the way, that you include keywords here also. So you can see groovegear.com/Groovezilla/ whatever else, right? That's the place that you can kind of set your URL. Right here, Open Graph Markup, otherwise known as OG Markup. I know that we have a really cool OG Groove shirt, which I still need to get, by the way. But with Open Graph Markup, this is more of communicating with the social media, okay? Not the search engines, but on social media. So when you do a copy and paste, right? You share this on Facebook. A lot of us, we notice that there's an image, right? When you share a link, and then there's going to be a title, there's going to be a description. Where does the image come from? Where does the title come from? Where does the description come from? They come from right over here where it says Open Graph Markup. All right. So anywhere under OG title, OG description, as well as OG image, that's where you're going to want to upload information and update with new information. If you want it to be different than the original, right, then of course you want to customize it here. If you want to keep them by default, then that's also up to you. However, there's always search engine optimization and other SEO benefits when you customize it with keyword-rich type of description and content, and of course, a strong call to action as well. So with all of that, a really great way for you to take a look inside of the back hood of how things work on the SEO side. One last option you'll see here on advanced settings. I think that we can kind of ignore this because it's mostly on the product dimensions and more specific to the products that is not related to SEO. So whatever the case, for what we want to do, make sure that we maximize our results by including as much information, as much keyword-rich information as we can under the main info, which is going to include your product name, which is your title, as well as description, and obviously customize and modify the SEO section as well. So with that, that's all I got for here today. I know that it was kind of a mouthful. We did go over quite a bit of information, but keep in mind, this is just the basics of the basics of the basics. If there's more information that we want to share with you later on down the line, I will work it out with Mr. Frank. We will come up here and we're going to go ahead and continue to share additional amazing SEO training for you as well. Is that something that you want? If it is, type in the word yes inside of the comments. Mr. Frank, right back to you.
Awesome. Yeah, because we could still go over in the builder where you edit the pages, showing where, you know, we work on the title and the meta keywords and all that. So I'm going to work it out, guys, with Simon. We're going to figure it out. It could be as early as next week, or it could be at another date. We'll figure that out, work out the details, and then we'll bring on Simon to come back. And what I'll do is maybe share my screen, and then Simon can elaborate on the different sections in the builder when we're going over things related to the SEO. So, Simon, I just want to say thank you for being here. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for, you know, showing us all this. We are going to have Simon come back also for the Google console and setting up Google Analytics. So we're going to figure it out. You're going to see Simon at least 2 more times with us here related for GrooveKart. So thank you again. And anything else you want to end with? I know we've been here for an hour and a half so far. You've delivered a ton of value.
We are good. Just want to say hi to some of the additional people who are saying hello in the comments. We got Betsaida TV. We got Michelle, Lisa saying thank you. You're very welcome. Mingru is saying can't wait for the in-depth explanation. Thank you for explaining more in-depth learning and so much more. And I see a lot of requests for more information for another time. It looks like we will be doing that. So stay tuned for more announcements, Mr. Frank. In the meantime, I do want to thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank you to share this experience with all of us right here in the Groove family. And of course, for anyone of you out there who want to learn more about SEO, digital marketing, how to use Groove and beyond, as part of the Groove community, as part of the Groove family, my door is always open. Reach out to me directly if you want to. And let's make sure that we connect and just make it a spectacular experience, because this is what the Groove spirit is all about. So with all of that, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Mr. Frank, thank you for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you. So, guys, we'll let you know as soon as I work out the schedule with Simon. We'll have him back at least for another 30 more times, and we'll definitely be looking forward to that. I see a couple questions I'll answer. Simon, you can hang out, or you can. I know it's late where Simon is right now, so thank you again, Simon. I'm just going to answer this real quick for you guys. We had someone talk about canonical URLs. I'm taking this issue, and Alexander, I'll reach out to you and I'll get in touch with our developer to see what that is and see what we can do about that. We also have Mr. Rowe. Can we add subdomains to connect different sites individually? We can do one. Now, if you want to do multiple, I am not sure if you could do many, like subdomain.yoursite.com. You can do that with Groove pages. Now, I don't know if you can do that with multiple GrooveKart stores. So, Simon, have you ever seen anyone doing more than one subdomain for a site and build out, like, let's say, a funnel for each subdomain?
I have not seen that. I don't know if that's a functionality that is possible at this time, but it could be, but I haven't seen it.
No problem. And either way, Mr. Rowe, I forgot your you have a first name, but I can't picture it right now, so sorry for messing that up. But we will find out, and you can reach out to me personally, and we'll get that answered and help you guys out related to this and the canonical URLs. So with that being said, thank you guys for being here. The replay will be up here in a few minutes, and as soon as I know when we can schedule Simon to come back, we're going to do it. So we look forward to it. Thank you again, Simon. And everyone, thank you all for being part of the Groove family. This is Frank, and we'll talk to y'all soon.